Saturn launch control. 4 minutes and counting. We are go for Apollo 11. Launch operations manager Paul Darnley wished the crew on the launch team's behalf good luck and Godspeed. We'll be coming up in the automatic sequence about 10 or 15 seconds from this time. Neil Armstrong reported back when he received the good wishes. Thank you very much. We know it will be a good flight. Firing command coming in now. We are on the automatic sequence. T-minus 3 minutes and counting. T-minus 3. We are go with all elements of the mission at this time. We're on an automatic sequence as the master computer supervises hundreds of events occurring over these last few minutes. T-minus 2 minutes, 45 seconds and counting. The members of the launch team here in the control center monitoring a number of what we call red line values. These are tolerances we don't want to go above and below in temperatures and pressures. They're standing by to call out any deviations from our plans. 2 minutes, 30 seconds and counting. We're still go on Apollo 11 at this time. The vehicle is starting to pressurize as far as the propellant tanks are concerned, and all is still go as we monitor our status for it. 2 minutes, 10 seconds and counting. The target for the Apollo 11 astronauts, the moon at liftoff, will be at a distance of 218,096 miles away. We just passed the 2-minute mark in the countdown. T-minus 1 minute, 54 seconds and counting. Our status board indicates that the oxidizer tanks in the second and third stages now have pressurized. T-minus 1 minute, 35 seconds. All indications coming in to the control center at this time indicate we are go. 1 minute, 25 seconds and counting. Our status board indicates the third stage completely pressurized. 80-second mark has now been passed. We'll go on full internal power at the 50-second mark in the countdown. Guidance system goes on internal at 17 seconds, leading up to the ignition sequence of 8.9 seconds. We're approaching the 60-second mark on the Apollo 11 mission. T-minus 60 seconds and counting. 60 seconds and counting.
3 men, 2 spacecraft, 1 rocket. Destination, Moon. The rocket, a monster tall as a skyscraper, heavy as a Navy destroyer, powerful as a fleet of airplanes. The spacecraft, one named Columbia, to carry the trio into lunar orbit and later bring them safely home. The other, an ungainly, spindly-legged contraption named Eagle, destined to land lunar pioneers on the surface of the moon. And the men, what of them? The flesh and blood component of this incredible complex of hardware and software. Who are they? These lunar astronauts of Apollo 11. All 3 had been in space before, but to most people, they remained relatively unknown until a news conference in Houston 11 days before liftoff, when they sat in an isolation booth on the stage of the Manned Spacecraft Center's auditorium and fielded questions from reporters. Buttoned into their spacecraft at the top of the Saturn V rocket on pad 39A that morning in July, the 3 Apollo 11 astronauts waited for the countdown to the moment of truth.
This is Apollo Saturn Launch Control. We are go for Apollo 11. The Apollo mission, the flight to land the first men on the moon. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower cleared.
Houston, Apollo 11 inside and gave us a magnificent ride. Roger, 11, we'll pass that on, and it certainly looks like you're well on your way now.
And at this fiery, thunderous instant, the tireless efforts of thousands for over a decade and the dreams of millions throughout the centuries converged as the majestic Saturn V rocket catapulted man into history and mankind into the future, probably never again be the same, and rocketed across the cosmos toward man's first landing on another celestial body, the moon. The epic journey of Apollo 11 had begun. The next 3.5 days found Apollo 11 soaring through the heavens. And while the feats of man and technology were performed without a flaw, the eyes and ears of the world followed the spacecraft as it was shot into and out of Earth orbit, and then thrust into its lunar trajectory. We marveled as the crew delicately maneuvered the separation and docking of the command module, codenamed Columbia, and the lunar module, the LEM, codenamed Eagle, and then send the remaining stage of the Saturn V rocket into solar orbit. We waited patiently as Apollo 11 coasted for 2 days, confidently homing in on its lunar target. On the third day, achieved lunar orbit, and while harnessing lunar gravity, remain in orbit around the moon for the next 24 hours. Finally, on the fourth day, the dramatic separation of Columbia and Eagle as the Apollo 11 mission reaches the threshold of man's most monumental achievement. At approximately 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, with Michael Collins orbiting the moon in the Columbia, Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin began the Eagle's descent toward the moon.
Roger, Eagle, contact.
Roger, how does it look?
Eagle, go ahead, please.
Eagle, Houston, we read you now. You're a go for PDI. Over.
Roger, understand.
Where to go? Stand by. Where to go? 60 seconds.
Lights on.
30 feet down, 2.5. Picking up some dust. 30 feet, 2.5 down. Straight shadow. 4 forward. 4 forward, drifting to the right. Low. 6, down a half. 30 seconds. Forward. Good. Ready? Contact light. Okay, engine stop. ACA at a descent. Mode control, both auto.